Welcome back, all my Minecrafting friends. I'm back here in desktop Shadowplay because I tried what Badheart suggested of trying to record it from within Minecraft, and it didn't record. Although I may not have done it exactly like he said, but I'll send him a message later saying exactly what I did and what didn't work. So nevertheless, let's get back to the subject at hand, is standard rules. Okay. Let's start up our Minecraft now. Yeah. Okay, we're having to do a new standard rules video because there's been a rule change to the standard rules in response to a input from the players. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Rule number 1. We are all playing the same game with the same features. That way, you know, our efforts are comparable. In order to ensure this, everyone has to play in hardcore mode. Everybody has to be playing vanilla Minecraft, no mods, with the possible exceptions of Batty's mod and Optifine. As long as you don't use any features in those mods that give you advantages that you don't have in vanilla Minecraft. So if you can do it and see it in the debug F3 screen, you know, well, then you can use those displays in the mods. But if it's some extra feature like zoom that Optifine has, you can't use zoom or anything else if it has a mini-map or something that isn't in the vanilla Minecraft or the F3 debug screen display. Okay, next, we should all be playing on the current version or something close. I know that Batty's mod isn't always updated to the very latest current version, but whatever version Batty's mod is updated to is okay, or the current version. So someone's not playing in some, you know, 1.3 or something, you know. Okay, so we're all using the same world type, whether that be default biomes or large biomes or some other custom thing. Same world type. We're all using the same seed. The seed will be given in the announcement video. We're all using the same structures, either on or off. So that'll also be in the announcement video, whether we're playing with structures off, which would mean no villages, or structures on, which would mean villages. And if the villages are there, then unless there's some special rules to cover it, pillaging villages is allowed, but not killing villagers, because they're passive mobs. Okay, rule number 2. No skipping the night by sleeping in beds. Okay, so if you can make beds if you're in a multiplayer server and you have people that are not sleeping in beds, and other people can sleep in beds as long as it doesn't result in skipping the night. Okay, rule number 3. No harming passive mobs. We talked about this a little bit. There are ways to get ink without killing squid. There are things in the game that I call natural squid grinders. It's places where there's holes in the bottom of lakes, or holes in the bottom of rivers, or the bottom of oceans that drain into caverns, and squids go down these drains and end up on dry land, and they suffocate and leave their their ink sacs behind. So you can pick up ink sacs in those locations. Okay, as far as killing cows for leather, killing cows is against the rules. If a cow dies through no fault of your own, or not any device that you constructed or any situation you created, you know, such as you planted a bunch of trees and a cow wanders into one of the saplings, and it grows up and kills the cow. That happens sometimes. Rare, very rare. Or other situations I can't imagine. But anyway, if you get leather from fishing, or if a cow dies from other natural causes, you know, he wanders into a lava pit that you didn't put there, or into cactuses that you didn't plant, okay, then you can get leather that way. As far as getting feathers, well, you still can't kill chickens. You know, maybe if a mob dies through some sort of an accident, although chickens they don't take fall damage, so that one's out. Although they do have a tendency to wander into lava and stuff like that, but then the feathers usually burn up along with the chicken. So I don't know about feathers. That might be a really difficult one to get. Okay. Rule number 4. No eating the meat of passive mobs, even if they die through legal means. Okay? Zombie flesh is okay. Zombie flesh, even though it is meat, is not from a passive mob. And fish is okay. Yes, even though it is meat, a fish is not a passive mob. It's an item. And let's see. Okay, rule number 5, brightness. Brightness should be set at 100%. That is, you know, don't leave it on moody. Don't go into a file and edit the brightness so that it's at 10,000%, so it's always light everywhere in caves and everything. Let's see if I can show you this. Options, video, brightness, right here. Okay, moody, 1, bright. So 95%. So all the way up would be 100%. Okay, that's where we want to play. Okay, next. Rule number 6. No AFK crop growth or AFK of any other kind. So don't let the game run while you're not recording and playing it. Okay? So I've heard of situations where you could have AFK mob grinding. I don't know exactly how you do that, but you know, I'm sure clever Minecraft engineers have already figured that out. But you know, no AFK crop growth or any other AFK activities. Everything must be on camera at normal speed, so that we can all see that we're all getting the same amount of gameplay time, so that all of our efforts are comparable. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't pause your recording and pause the game both, and go off and answer the phone or answer the door or put the cat out or feed the kid or whatever you need to do. You know, go to school and take a class or whatever, and come back and then restart the recording and restart the world and continue playing. It doesn't mean you can't have pauses, you know. So, you know, don't go thinking, okay, well, once I start recording, I have to record the whole 20-minute episode in one sitting, you know, or else I'm violating the no AFK rule. No, you're not. You're not violating the no AFK rule or the no, you know, or the everything on camera at normal speed rule or any other rule. Okay, you can have pauses as long as you pause both the gameplay and the recording. Okay, next rule. Let's move along. Okay, number 7. No duplicate world information except other players' videos. Information can be used in the following episodes. So, no going into creative world of the same seed and finding out where the diamonds are, or the dungeons, or the strongholds, or whatever, and bringing that information back into your game and using it. Okay, this is against the rules. Although you can use information from other people's videos. Say Technoscribe finds a zombie dungeon on episode 3, you can use that information in your video as of episode 4 or later, not on episode 3. Okay, so next rule. Next rule, number 8. Everything on camera at normal speed. The reason we want everything on camera is obviously so that we know that nobody is cheating, not that we don't trust everyone, but besides which, I like to see all this stuff that's happening. You guys might think it's boring to watch your mining or farming or whatever, but I don't consider it boring. Okay, I like to watch every minute of how things are going, because you never know what's going to happen. You might think, okay, all I'm doing is just mining in a straight line under here and nothing's going to happen, and the next thing you know, you break a block and lava runs out and you get caught on fire, and then there's baby zombies running everywhere and waterfalls, and who knows what could happen at any moment, in any situation, at any time. Okay, so everything on camera at normal speed. The reason we have the normal speed rule there is because there has been cases where people have gone underground and speeded up their episodes way fast and come back up the next day and said, that was only one night, and when I know it was more than one night. But whatever. At least if it's at normal speed, we can all just time it and see if it was one night or if it was a night and a whole day. Okay. Next rule, number 9. Episodes run from sunup to sunup. Okay, that just means that, when you first start Minecraft, it starts at sunup, which isn't really the sun being exactly on the horizon. It's a little ways above the horizon when it starts. Okay, now, so you start at sunup, you go all the way through the day, all the way through the night, come back to the next sunup, and then that's the end of your episode and the beginning of the next episode. Okay. Something else I wanted to say about that. Oh yeah, if you want to skip if you want your day counter, on your F3 here, see what day I'm on, day 34. If you want your day counter to match your episode counter, you can Scotty hole it the first day. Just spawn into your world, dig a hole right there under your feet, put the dirt back over your head, wait until the next morning, pop back out, and start your game, and you'll be on day 1 and it'll be episode 1. Another way you can do that is you can open your world to LAN, turn cheats on, add 24,000 to the time, and it will skip you up to the next day, and then save the game, go back into the game without the the open LAN stuff going on, and you'll be skipping a day that way too, without having to wait for 10 minutes overnight, or 20 minutes. Okay, that takes care of rule 9. Rule number 10: post episodes on Mondays and Fridays, or one day in advance, so, or Thursdays and Sundays. Basically, when we started out this MHC thing years ago, we tried different things. We tried posting an episode every day. Most people couldn't do that. We tried just posting like one episode a week. We got to where people would forget, what was going on, and it was too hard to keep track of. We tried 3 days, 3 episodes a week. That was too hard for too many people. We by trial and error, we settled on 2 episodes a week, and Mondays and Fridays as the best days for that. So that's what we're doing now, Mondays and Fridays. Although, in order for me to watch all the videos, if some people don't post a little early, like Sundays and Thursdays, then I won't have enough time in the day to watch everything to make the player updates on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So if you want to do me a favor and you want to make sure that you're in the player update, post on Sundays and Thursdays. But posting on Mondays and Fridays is perfectly fine too. So next rule, number 11. No one dies on the first episode. Felonious Wizard pointed out that this rule actually violates the rule of no alternate world information, and it does to a certain extent, but not by a lot. And it's kind of a compromise between the two, because there's no way to do one without the other. So we're going to live with a little bit of contamination of world information that you might get from the first day, but try not to abuse that. Don't just go in there and kill yourself before the end of the episode 15 times and run in different directions and do all the stuff in order to get all that information. Don't abuse it. But the reason we say no one dies on the first day is because we're trying to make videos for our channels, and some of these challenges are pretty challenging, and if you go into it and you die in the first 5 minutes, or as soon as the sun goes down, the first mob kills you, that's disappointing for your audience. It's disappointing for the player. It's disappointing for everyone. So we thought we'd give you one more chance. So if you die in the first episode, you can post that as a death video for us all to enjoy, and then or not. You can just erase it and forget about it and start over. So there's that. Okay. Rule number 12. This is the one that changed. Okay. The new rule number 12, based on a poll of the current MHC players, is restoring from a backup copy of the world is not allowed for any reason. Okay. And if you want to know all the backstory for the arguments for and against that, you can go see the video about that and read all the comments. I don't want to reproduce all of them here, because that would make the video about twice as long, and it's already longer than it should be. So rule number 13. Rule number 13 is just as Batty says, just a personal preference of my own. It is no violence against other players. So if you're in a multiplayer challenge, we do this single player and teams, and if you're in a team, don't be hitting your other team members. Okay, this is not a player versus player challenge. It's not last man standing wins type of a thing. Also, if at the end of your series you don't see any reason to keep the world and you just want to get rid of it by committing suicide, please do it off camera. We don't need to see that. We don't need that to be an example for people. I know that this is a game and it's not real life and all that stuff, but we don't want to normalize the idea of suicide as if this is a valid option. And I know that there's some people that say it, there's arguments on both sides, Is suicide a valid option in certain circumstances? I'm not going to make judgments on that. It's up to you. But I'd rather not see it in this MHC challenge. Okay, it is not necessary, and it is not needed, and it is, and by me personally, not wanted. Okay, so rule number 14. This was one suggested by Felonious Wizard, and it's been kind of an unwritten rule from the beginning, but is a difficult rule to abide by sometimes. But nevertheless, rule 14 is Michael Deering, that's me, may not change the rules after the announcement video, which makes perfect sense. I mean, you say, okay, let's all play this game, and we start playing the game, and then the guy who made up the game, you know, partway through says, oh wait, we're changing rules. Now that's not fair. Of course it's not fair. Sometimes situations come up that you didn't foresee and you think it would be a good idea to do, but we're just going to have to live with those situations, because now we have Rule 14 that says we're not doing it. Okay, rule number 15. I don't remember who suggested this one, but this is a good idea. In team play, survivors must build a memorial or a grave to fallen players. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. If you're in single player, obviously there's no one to make a grave for you, but if you're playing on a team and one of your teammates gets blown up by a creeper or something, then you should make him some sort of memorial, you know, structure, or a grave site, or you know, a tombstone in a graveyard or something like that. Okay, so, and finally, this is not a rule. This is just a statement or a question. What happens if someone breaks a rule? So, what happens if someone breaks a rule? Well, people are going to break rules. You know, either by accident, by forgetting, you know, special rules in certain situations, or on purpose. And you know, we're not playing for money here. No one's getting rich playing the MHC. You know, the winners don't have some, you know, great grand prize that they get. We're all just playing for fun, and you know, some of us are not even competing, such as Felonious Wizard. He doesn't compete, and that's okay. You know, if you don't want to consider this a competition, that's fine. If you want to consider it a competition, that's fine too. Okay? So, what happens if someone breaks a rule? Well, basically nothing happens. You know, I nor anyone else in the challenge, as far as I know, has any authority over other people's YouTube channels and what they post, what they record, and what they post. You know, and if you want to call this, you know, the official MHC for, you know, November 2015, and you want to cheat the whole way through and post it that way, well, there's no one that can stop you. Although I don't think you're going to get a lot of views from other players. You're probably going to lose respect. But as far as actual repercussions beyond, you know, your reputation, I don't think there are going to be any. And that takes care of the standard rules. The standard rules are those rules that we play by every month, unless they are modified by special rules, which, you know, depending on what the challenge is, there may be reasons to modify the standard rules, or make additional special rules, or to negate certain standard rules, and those will all be explained in the announcement videos for those challenges. Alright, this is Mike Deering signing out. I sure hope this recording worked. Let's get out of here now. Didn't I just say quit game? Okay, and see.